Welcome to Reggie's Corner Variety Gaming. Welcome back to this blind let's play of Tale of Enki Pilgrimage and part 10. In this part we will continue to push through Felgruth and hopefully this time we'll make it to the castle and check out the Valpa infestation. So if you want to see how that goes, stick around. Okay, so probably, or hopefully, oh boy, I was about to say we're getting to the end of Felgruth, but this is a huge place. Seriously huge place. And in the last part we had a lot of lore, even though it's nice, it became a bit much to read, so I apologize for that. But this is, as I mentioned before, a pretty thorough playthrough, so I will read everything, but I usually point out where to skip in the video if you are not so inclined or interested in the lore. And here we go again. Guide to the Gods, Yulgus Edition. Yulgus, the god of knowledge and exploration. He's a deity that craves to know all and watches over the important events in the worlds. He resides in the Spectral Library. It's a realm of endless bookshelves that are constantly being filled with new information scribed by his followers. They document every event in existence in every plane they can see. Yulgus commonly takes two different forms. The first one is of a giant eye that watches all. He usually takes this form when watching worlds from afar. The second is that of an old man. He takes the form when he's wandering on the lands that he visits during his quest to understanding. Anything in the fireplace? No. Locked? It's locked. Old guy? Mr. Caprius. There's an old tale about a place called Drumdrum Island. It's said that there are a bunch of wooden golems. Given true life, not just animation. They can even produce offspring by planting the seeds that grow on their branches. I've heard such tales, but I don't believe them. We'd surely have found them by now if that was the case. In my old family records, it states that my great-great-great-grandfather met them. You'll pardon me for my skepticism, I'm sure. My children are all intrepid adventurers. They take after my late wife in that regard. I have two sons currently exploring Cloudreach to the north. My home nation, it's a sight to behold. There are far more intelligent beings in Enki than you see around these parts. If you find them, be careful. My third son is currently in prison in Koramoon. Apparently he tried to explore a forbidden island that the local keep well guarded. Have you ever considered exploring the depths of Foxwood? It's home to some of the most impressive networks of tunnels that the Valpa used to trade between their settlements. Plumbed out his dialogue tree. Guide to the Gods, Caprius Edition. Caprius, the god of uncertainty, mystery and the unknown, a deity who remains mostly an enigma. Much like what he represents, he enjoys watching events unfold and acts upon them as they happen rather than ever planning. His realm of the Shadowlands is often seen as a parallel version of Enki that's cloaked in darkness and filled with creatures that are often twisted versions of beings on Enki. Reportedly, it only appears this way to creatures originating on Enki. He commonly takes the form of a goat and watches over people as they go about their lives as though he's trying to understand them. Marley! I used to be a student in the Ferule School of Magic, but there's a preference for nature and gore magic there with all the ogres. So, I'm just saying, I didn't know there was a school of magic here. Ice magic, of course, is the best. I disagree, I prefer radiant magic. A fine choice if I do say so myself. Fire is the essence of life. With no heat, we all die. Can't we agree that there's merits to everything? Says the necromancer. Why are we arguing about this? There are merits to everything. You'd like my friend, Geonar. He's a very gifted magician that used to duel there. He liked to practice using nature fire and ice at the same time. Intriguing. Maybe we could have a duel against him at some point. I don't believe that he's left Ferule yet. You should ask around and see if people have seen him. He always wears a pointy hat with an orange band around it, as well as his blue traveling jacket. A fellow Enkian? Yes. How does he cast more than one element at a time? How are you so dense? You can cast any type of magic, provided you're sufficiently skilled enough. Up to the 3rd level, unless you're a specialized magician. Why did nobody ever tell me that? Drusilla, give me some ice spells. No. Rook? Twostone? I'll never see them back again. Nope, I'm using them. Fine, I'll take these Yunar spells once you beat him in the duel. Good luck, he's very strong. Did you find him yet? It may have actually been the eastern coast. So you don't really know, do you? Oh well. And we are in yet another... I have to check. How big is this place? Okay, that's the end in that direction. Okay, yeah, let's just work this. Gun 3. What do you know of Overlord Gruga Rathison? My dad always said that he's one of the toughest ogres to have ever lived. He can fight off dozens of other ogres younger than himself and still come out with barely an injury. Did you know that he's also the reason the Enkians and ogres could form a peace? I don't keep up with these things. If you grew up here, you should really know more about this land. Keep yourself aware of what's going on. What do you know of King Julius Disdainius? I don't like him at all. In fact, I think he's a terrible ruler and that he cares more about his own ideals than that of his people. Why do you think that? Locals who dissent go missing a lot. Even the prince, Gaius Disdainius, was declared dead in battle not long after speaking out against his brother's policies publicly. I have my own thoughts about the Locust, but he keeps them strong and true to their roots. One of his few benefits. What do you think of Emperor Tyon Megalos? Without him, we wouldn't be in such a golden age. The Incan Empire has had many ups and downs, but the most recent Emperor Megalos has given us more freedom rather than less, unlike many of his predecessors. What do you think of him knowing that he's a magician rather than a priest? He took the throne long before I was born, but he's kept very true to Joran's teachings and has continued to expand the empire. He's also strengthened our ties with other nations without excessive force. He doesn't shy away from combat. He retook the land of Kalshar and personally faced off against Chief Blackflint of Cloudreach. Glory to the Empire! Now, should we? Yeah, we should. Well, what do we have here? Yeah, that's an ongoing joke, I just know it. National discussion, Foxwood. Foxwood, the central province in Epirus, and once the largest, is the homeland of the Volpa. At various points in history it incorporated Crothmol, Cordamoon, Cowthrul and Ferule, but these have all been lost to other races and factions. Foxwood is home to some of the most ancient mysteries in all of Enki. Buried deep beneath the surface, there are ruins aplenty and forgotten rituals and sources of magic that are waiting to be discovered by the fortunate. Most adventurers, however, meet an unfortunate end in them. The Forest of Foxwood is where you'll find the most varied creatures in all of Epirus. It's home to dragons, fruit bugs, klugans, demons, and so much more. The Volpa tend to build their houses either into the ground or hide to the trees to keep themselves safer and more inconspicuous. $20 coupons, don't mind if we do. National discussion, Greenrock. Greenrock is the ancestral home of the Sheepa after Cinder sent them out of this Ashbrook forest. It's a lush green and mountainous region with plenty of valleys and rivers. It doesn't have as high of an altitude as Cloudreach, but it is still a chilly place and it's perfectly suited to Sheepa with their thick fur. Greenrock doesn't have as many ruins and forgotten locales as other parts of Enki, but it is home to a wide variety of cultists, deep in the wilderness and near the borders. There are various reasons for this, but it is mainly due to the Sheepa being lax on laws when outside of established settlements. The creatures of Greenrock range from goats to tapirs and from Nagrul to Javerian. It's quite a safe place if you stay within the towns and villages, but the further out you go, the more helpless you'll be. Red potion. Oh, we're getting a few of those. Yunda, excuse me, but have you come across a man named Khan? No? What does he look like? He's very distinctive, blue skin, a fin on his head and weird protrusions from his cheeks. How does he dress? He's a treasure hunter, so he wears outdoor clothing, usually a dark brown tunic with light brown trousers. He carries a sword too. We'll let you know if we see him. Anything else we should know? Yes, slap him and tell him I never want to see him again. Wow. How come? A question we probably shouldn't ask. Oh, I get it now. That Conleth Valion is a cold man beneath his carefree exterior. Yeah, we're looking for him for other reasons, because he might be the one who has the fruit ban, or whatever it was called. Yeah. Old guy. Tales of Yultan, Brutalscar, Volume 3. The dawn approaches and the Loker were ready, spells and sword in hand. They stared across the battlefield at the ogres waiting for them to make a move. Yultan told his men to hold steady as their wolves growled, signaling their impatience. Captain Lotrius Aurelius was finally done waiting and called the attack. The Loker charged on their Roger, and the ogres followed. As the Loker reached the middle of the battlefield, the ground suddenly collapsed beneath them. Yultan was pleased his plan worked and yelled to go around. Yultan smirked as he came upon his first Loker and beheaded him in an instant with his axe. As Yultan killed from one angle, Red Eye killed from another. The two worked in perfect unison, dispatching enemies. The fight couldn't have gone better until a rogue spell suddenly knocked Yultan from Red Eye. Captain Lotrius Aurelius seized his chance and prepared to make a final strike on Yultan. But Yultan was too quick. Yultan lodged one of his own spells and, at point blank range, petrified the captain. He jumped to his feet and slashed at the stone form of the captain, who shattered into 1,000 pieces. The Loker panicked, realized that these were not typical ogres who relied on brute strength. The battlefield was suddenly filled with Loker, succumbing to toxic nature spells faster than their Gore magicians could heal them. The Rogers, strong as they are, were no match for the specifically trained wolves. The wolves bested the other beasts, and the ogre bested the other demons. The battle was over. Yultan orders his fallen allies be brought to their families. He vowed never to let a friend rot in a field, and that he must always put them to rest in a more honorable fashion. Yultan returned to the Overlord and declared his victory. The Overlord chuckled and congratulated such a massive win. He presented Yultan with a fine war horn crafted from the highest quality ivory on Enki. Yultan blew his horn as a mark of the victory, and the sound carried across all of Crouthmall. Old Man Devus. There was a time when I used to fight ogres off 10 at a time. Doubtful. That's all you had going? Okay. Okay. Anything in these here bushes? Nope. What about this one? Nope. Guard Steve. One time Roger was jumped by bandits and we managed to fight a lot of them off. Ogre bandits are a problem a bit to the east, even for the other ogres that live nearby. We built the wall and that helps keep them out. There's little that a good ogre loathes more than a bandit. It's just an empty barrel. Guide to the God, Ferule edition. Ferule, The goddess of night and day, she is a neutral deity who watches over the balance between night and day. She prefers to play peacemaker unless her hand is forced. Her home plane of the spire of the heavens consists of a single spire that rises seemingly infinitely into the sky, where Ferule resides at the top. Many mortal beings live here, but the circumference of the spire is so large further down that it can take months to do a full lap. Ferule often takes the form of a robed woman, with her emblem being a moon within a sun. She is also commonly depicted with the symbol of a hawk that watches over all forces. Mendacious Amicus. Would you be interested in purchasing a ban fruit? Not really? Well, too bad! I sold it to an ogre in the forest. Wait, you aren't interested? I might be. Make up your mind. If I were you, I'd gather up a lot of different spells and weapons. If you're in any way proficient in combat, you can switch quickly between them in battle. How? Well, maybe we can do that. Anyway, let's go to the left, because that was just a single area. Well, I say single area, there's 3 houses here, so we'll work through them one at a time. National discussion, Cloudreach. Cloudreach is the northwestern nation of Eperos, that's ruled over by the Rocklopes, the most civilized of the Cyclops races. They defend their borders with full force, but they don't care to expand. A war with a Rocklops is one enemy they won't win. Cloudreach is quite a mountainous country, but from the highland to the lowland, it's a beautiful place. Deep valleys and rivers run throughout mountain town and cities that are built into the rock face and pine forests in the colder reaches of the nation. If ever there was a place to find a dragon, Cloudreach is it. They often remain in their mountain and forest lairs, wishing to be left alone. Perhaps that's why the dragons and Rocklopes are happy to share Cloudreach. It's the place where they can happily stay out of each other's way. Guide to the Gods, Permia Edition. Permia is the goddess of shadows and darkness, but that doesn't equate to being an evil deity. It's to be taken literally. The Loker and their side races were originally a race of demons called the Core that originated in her domain before being banished. Her domain is known as the Expanding Void and is an ever-growing expanse that is populated by a series of large and small floating islands in a void. Ironically, the Expanding Void is brightly lit despite Permia being the goddess of shadows and darkness. Why? It's impossible to say. Permia takes many forms, but most commonly as a woman in robes. Another common form for Permia is that of a purple dragon, a color rarely seen on Enki. Lida! Wow, you look so strong. Are you a paladin? No, my lady. I'm but a humble adventurer who vows one day, that he shall become a paladin. Why is he acting like this? He likes what he sees. May I ask your name? Rookganas. I bring light into the darkest corners of the world. I strive to uphold justice wherever I go, even when the choice is tough. Curious. Indeed. My name is Lida. It's a pleasure to meet you. Likewise, my fair maiden. Might I inquire as to your status? I'm not spoken for, if that's what you're asking. Why has his accent gone strange? It must be a strange way that Enkins try and mate. Beautiful Lida, I'm currently on a grand adventure guiding my friend here to Rightport. Once my journey is over, would you care to join me for dinner? Oh, well, yes, I would love to, Rook. Maybe I'll live to see the grandkids. You probably don't have more than a few years left, old man. Please wait for me. I shall return within a few weeks. We don't have far to go. I will. Oh, that was super fast. Rook knows how to smooth talk a young lady. The High Fire Days. The High Fire Days takes place on the 30th of the 2nd. It's a festival used to celebrate the end of winter and marks the day of the year when fire magic is more potent. The High Fire Days is celebrated on the week leading up to the 30th of the 2nd, and portals from the Great Furnace begin to open. The Great Furnace being the elemental plane of fire. The festival is one of the most famous festivals for food, particularly among Enkians. It specializes in having a wide variety of breads and desserts prepared for the various parties and celebrations. And who is this? Gale, the historian. The Loker were once called the Core. They were cast out from Permia's plane on the expanding void after a supposed heresy against her. When they arrived on Enki, they split into various factions, with the most notorious being the Loker. The Rooker are far more troublesome than we are. Quite right. The Rooker are at constant war with the Enkians on the seas and on the many island territories. Loker generally stay out of the way of the Empire if they can help it. Okay, so that's it. Is it? Nothing in the bushes. Anything? Nope. And you are? Twostone. Kerlos, good to see you again. Likewise, my friend. You two know each other? Yes. Kerlos pointed me in the right direction when I wandered into town, trying to avoid the castle. It's why you met me in a good mood. You have moods? You always seem the same to me. My mood changes are subtle. You'll know if I get angry. I think he's probably right about intriguing. Somebody left such a rarity out in the open. A green potion? Yeah, that is a rarity. There are, what, 600 coupons for that? Yeah. I did it. Okay. So should we at least take a peek on what's in here? Castle Proudwind. Let's see if there's like an altar to craft here. Captain Minus Euryades. Stand away, citizen! We're not letting anybody pass in case more Loker are in the woods, waiting in ambush. Hello there. Captain Minus. A cohort! Explain yourself, lest you be cut down. You'd best watch yourself. There'll be no need for that. I, Rukganas, will vouch for her. I pledge to Jordan himself that for all her faults, she's with us and has no part in whatever crime you speak of. You don't choose your company too well, do you, brother? Regardless, we have a problem with some Loker and can't let you pass. What's the nature of this problem? I'm intrigued. Classified, I'm afraid? Sir, it's an Lieutenant Nileus Garadas. Sir, it's an open secret at this point. Word reached town days ago. Lieutenant Proudwind Simon. Sir, perhaps you can tell them of the problem? Do. I want to know. Tell me now. I'm afraid not. Fine, I will tell them. We were attacked by Loker force as we slept. The castle was home to Lord Proudwind, but he fell as we made our escape. Cut down by the Loker, Captain Tabius Aurelius. Yes, Lord Proudwind is a great loss. A fair and just noble that guarded Castle Proudwind well. Tabius will pay for his crimes. Clearly a great leader. His castle only got taken over, not completely destroyed. You do well to watch your tongue, lest you lose it. You wouldn't dare touch me. Nelios, please. Are you folks for hire by any chance? No, thank you. I want no part here. As mercenaries? Absolutely unacceptable to even ask. Captain, your time is done. You failed us. We want you removed from power as soon as we can. What is this? A mutiny? It seems so. If it were up to me, I'd go straight for Tabius and end this quickly. Wait, did we even agree to this? No, but we'll do it. There's a reward, right? Of course there is. Naturally. Alright, you've convinced me. I've never seen an Enkian castle from the inside before. I'm more intrigued by the magic that the local wield. They're rare outside of Koramoon. Excuse me? You're an ice magic user. That's atypical of a local. I'm curious about their gore magic, particularly when you're also a sword wielder and not a dedicated spellcaster. Are you okay with killing your own kind, your own kin? Sure. They exiled me. No mercy. I didn't want to help the Enkians all that much, but money talks. Justice will befall them. And they're gone. Okay, let's talk to these guys. Let's talk to these guys. See what they have to say. Proudwind soul, be careful, citizen. Be careful. Shouldn't we see about all of the commotion? Why? It couldn't take us too long, surely. Be careful. Be careful. We can't really go any further in that direction. Minus Euradis. I'm in the middle of a crisis. Now is not the time. The captain is not in a good mood right now. Okay, so they'll probably say the same, yeah. So, having talked to everyone and not really, up for going into the castle just yet, I think this is a good place to end off this part. In the next one, we will definitely go into the castle and there will be some action. It's been too long. I hope that you find viewers out there had as good of a time as I had, and I'll see you again in the next video. Until then, have a good one, and I will see you when I see you. Bye for now. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it or the channel at large, please feel free to click those like and subscribe buttons. Thank you.